maybe. Welcome back YouTube to my channel of an everyday life of an Aspie. If you follow me right now, I'm Aspie and I welcome you newbies on my channel. I'm hoping that within this you can journey with me and get to know me as a person under the mask of all these diagnoses that I clearly share with you all that comes into the territory of Asperger's syndrome. I also share basically, tips and advice along the way of the mental health series versus just tips and advice in general, or just words of encouragement, and as well as just pills of wisdom and knowledge and know-how, hopefully, on certain everyday personal struggles that you guys may go through, regardless what it may be, hopefully just to let you know that I can be your voice, mentor, advocate, support person along the way, and actually just be the voice of the unheard, and hopefully that many people will be able to address to you all about what goes down. So in further ado, guys, basically, if you've been following me, even though I've marked up certain things behind my schedule of what I'm trying to do, is what I'm hoping to address to you today is, in the next, probably leading up to the next, hopefully 2 weeks and a bit, while I've been away doing my research and everything else that I've clearly addressed to you all where I've been. Hopefully some of these videos that I've been going to address of these Let's Talk series that I've decided to collab as a series was based on my everyday research will be of value and use to you all, because obviously at this point of time, as I've shared in one of my, introduction of it all, as you've been following, I think it is in through part 1 of the education one, especially since they've all broken down into 5 parts of that series, and that some of this needs to be actually talked about and not be ignored and swept under the carpet for so long, that certain of these everyday problems that has arisen in New Zealand, especially of what needs to be changed and addressed for short-term, long-term periods of time, that we need to actually find possible solutions that we can work together as a team, no matter what it may be, and hopefully that within this we can actually be able to know what's going down and actually just be able to make ends meet. So, and all further ado, obviously, this is hopefully going to be the last part of the education series, obviously. This is part 5, even though I marked up the series, so hopefully while I'm taking time out and actually fix the series order bit by bit for you to follow, hopefully through it all, so that you gain a better understanding to what I'm trying to clearly address here. So, this one's all about Let's Talk series, basically based on inclusive education. What it's going to cover right now is what it is, the pros and cons, versus basically also just a quick overview of the pros and cons. Just before I end it, will be a little bit about a video that I was watching on Vimeo about called My World, My View, which I'll briefly explain later on in this piece. So let's begin this before I run out of time. So, as we know, basically, inclusion education may have its benefits and downfalls, even though also many definitions comes about of this inclusive education sort of thing, and it has been, stated right now, regardless of what's going on, especially for people with different special educational needs, obviously needs to be addressed more further on, obviously. And in the last, like I said, 20 years, basically, from what I can recall in my first part of these education series, especially of the special needs, or special educational needs, or whatever it was, I want you guys to go back to this. Over the last 20 years, there has been problems about, certain educational needs to be met with specialised people with special needs, obviously, but, due to maybe lack of funding and everything else that comes with it, as well as just, every other bits of the criteria that needs to be looked at and addressed a bit more. But I'll share more on that in part 2 of that special needs education, especially, which will be challenging the barriers, obviously, ensuring access to education for all children with special needs will be the title, if I can fit it all in one piece up there, but I'll recommend you guys to watch it hopefully after I finish it. But before I ramble on and lose out of time, what I'm going to address now, as I said, inclusive education. Let's begin this. What is this? This is defined as basically where all children and young people are engaged and are welcomed by the neighbourhood, by their school in general, in the neighbourhood that, welcome them in from different age appropriate, regular classes, by achieving the desired results through learning, contributing and participating in their school life, obviously. as well as having the feeling of a place where they do belong. Because obviously, as we know, for all children, regardless if they have a special needs requirement or not, they need to feel like they belong somewhere in this world. Because obviously at this point of time, things are changing, obviously, based on the education and everything else that needs to be addressed, as I said. Another way of maybe looking at it, though, however, full inclusive, especially inclusive school is inclusion, as we know, or I don't know, for example, as another term for like mainstreaming or merging special education with for disabilities. This is a popular approach, however, for children with different special needs and interests, however. Okay, the pros and cons of this, however, for inclusive inclusion education, I should say, are as follows. So let's begin this for the pros. Number one is normal students will learn to appreciate their own abilities and skills as of the ones that has the special needs, and obviously with those ones that has the special needs, basically, as we know, even if they may need more time and patience with their learning disability, here say example like someone with ADHD, some of them can actually teach the disability students basically how to persevere and actually achieve the desired results and outcome of their education or just anything in general. Obviously, when it comes to studying together with the disabled children, they can develop tolerance, understanding, empathy, as versus the sympathy. Even though many children with disabilities doesn't want sympathy, they just want to be able to be understood and actually be able to reach out to the ones that they can. And also just with these normal everyday people that ain't disabled, they can actually be kind to one another, learning all these other values and morals that can come into play with these. Okay, also another pro is to observe their life and struggles to reach their full potential to succeed, obviously for the non-disabled children as well as versus the ones that are disabled, which I don't like using this word disabled, but bear with me with this. I'll try and rechange it to condition if I have to. Anyway, this will also give a child that is with the special needs, shall we say, to learn in a natural, stimulating environment. But then again, you've got to remember some stimulation can affect others depending on the specialised child. It could be a possibility also for the pro of friendships that may occur with non-handicapped peers. Who knows? Also may provide positive role models. They will. Greater acceptance in the community. Another pro is children without any disabilities may benefit by learning about differences between people and having an opportunity to of these differences by just shining out and actually learning about these differences and maybe hopefully tailor to the needs of the ones that has these special needs, regardless, like someone that could be on the forefront of in a wheelchair, basically maybe they can find some sort of lift that can carry them upstairs, or even just maybe some sort of like doors that can assist them one way or another. Another pro is here, teachers, however, may learn different techniques, skills for the teaching instructions that are required for a person with special needs. And also, last but not least of the pros is inclusion is a philosophy, however, based on the children or how the children should be educated. Therefore, it's all about the content and method of instruction that's most likely to result in other behaviours to get the desired behaviours and results or outcomes, shall we say. For the cons, however, to bear in mind though, as I said, everything comes with the cost of the pros versus the cons. However, some public schools are, unable to provide specialised education required for children with special needs, like their time and effort may be, limited in the classroom, here say, and that when it comes down to teaching with children that ain't on the special needs spectrum versus the ones that are on the special needs spectrum, sometimes they could be a distraction for the ones that need that special needs and more time and efforts to put it into it. Another one though, however, just to be in mind though before I continue with the con, is a classic example is for the ones that are maybe autistic and those with severe languages and behaviour disorders that may, as I said before, cause disruption in the classroom, and that needs to maybe sorry about that. I've obviously pushed the wrong button or something there, but let's continue on. As I said before, another con is, however, is children with special needs are usually assigned to have basically one-on-one training methods or just one-on-one teaching with the ones that has little or no training experience in that criteria with people with special needs. So therefore, basically, there needs to be more understanding and whatnot. As I said before, more in that piece in the special needs department of my education series in part 2, so keep your eyes peeled for that to know what I'm talking about. But in the meantime, number 3 for the cons, I should say, is disabled children or children with special needs may feel uncomfortable, unsettled, and may feel like they're being judged or misunderstood or whatever it may be, however it may be. Another one is basically there will be negative reactions and attitudes, maybe the teasing, name calling, bullying, and so on and so forth. Basically, there'll be stress and nervous tension between the student and the actual teacher itself, about how to address this sort of matter. Okay, to end this off, however, I wanted to share with you briefly what I watched of a video on vimeo called My World, My View. This one is all about basically children talking about or shall I say, the children that is in there that has those learning special needs requirements, regardless what it is. Some were blind, some were deaf, and whatnot in this video. Some of these children describe some of the barriers that they may face in their everyday lives at school. They explain in full detail the importance of respect, understanding, communication, and support. So obviously, for what they define, some of them define inclusion is, right, education inclusion or just inclusion in general is, one of the child's definition defines it as including all people, regardless of gender, race and whatever, not leaving people out all the time, being able to, be involved no matter who and what we are as a person, so to speak. One is obviously feeling like when they're deaf or the people in the deaf community are trying to participate in the ones that are hearing impaired in those groups, they do find it hard to understand what's going on around them. Some of them may struggle with, with the involvement of the activity that's going on in classroom or outside the classroom, so therefore they'll tend to feel that, while they're struggling with this, if there's no interpreter about, they'll withdraw themselves or hold themselves back, or they'll tend to back off and not get involved in the decide not to, because obviously they feel lost in translation, not knowing what's going on. So as I said before, it's always best to hopefully know in the near future maybe some sign language in that. It's important maybe to involve all people. Also, another one that's one of the children said about of inclusion is people with different disabilities or different needs to be met. Yet they can still do some everyday activities like any able bodies. For example, a person in a wheelchair, however, will be able to still play sports regardless, even though they may be on wheels and you guys are playing on foot, regardless of a classic example if you're playing basketball and they're in a wheelchair, It's just a matter of just, like I said, they having fun and actually getting involved and interacting one way or another. And another one is being able to have friends that are similar to them to a point where they can actually socialise and talk to their own peers, basically, because obviously, sometimes when it comes down to inclusion, sometimes when some people have special needs, they may feel comfortable in their own group, be it if they're deaf, be it if they're autistic and whatnot. Some of them may be able to just, be able to socialise more in their own peers because they're comfortable in their own skin, however, and it feels like sometimes to some of the people with special needs, or what I found, especially when I was trying to find a way to fit in and blend in at the time before I found out it's not always possible, was the key factor was for me was finding people I can actually socialise with and interact with, and in that perspective it was really hard at that time. However, basically I was doing my very darn hardest just to do what I can when I knew that something wasn't right about me, that hopefully I'll be able to just do what I can at that time. Okay, in this video, the children in that video knows dignity is the key to a stronger community, however. Okay, with this though, however, some of this was shared about importance of being treated equally and fairly. It's about respecting people and their varied differences, of regardless of their disability, again, or their creed or whatever they are. If the communication, this is kind of actually I agree with some points of what the child was saying, especially the one that was actually signing and deaf. He said basically if the communication breaks down somewhere along the line, you need to be willing to help all people, no matter who and what they are. Be it if they're deaf, be it if, they're Down syndrome, be it if they're autistic, be it whatever it may be, of whatever disability. Okay, if we help each other, however, this continues on, and work as people, however, together rather than just individuals, it will become a better outcome for all. Support is key here, he's trying to say here. People who has no disability to show more understanding or empathy to others who are different, however, to help them. Example here is basically like for the one that was talking about herself in a wheelchair, instead of saying, or thinking, like in their mentality, what she's saying about was, oh, she's in a wheelchair. Instead of maybe thinking that, and maybe to, like one of my friends who I used to socialise with back in the days of high school, especially when I was in the special needs units, basically up in learning, it's actually called learning support back in the day. There was a person that was in a wheelchair, and what he said to me was, instead of thinking and saying, oh, what I just said, maybe look beyond the wheelchair, because obviously the wheelchair can be a portal for some people, thinking that they're just, disabled in that forefront. And even though, like I said before, you'll be surprised with the ones that are in wheelchairs, they're still able-minded up there, they've got strong minds, sharp, clear mindsets and whatnot. Everybody's different regardless what it may be. Another one is for the one that was actually sight impaired. She says something along the lines, it's important to hear other people's voices so that their needs can be met regardless what it may be. We need to accommodate the needs for one another regardless what it may be. Another part of the subtopic was, every child should be able to live in an environment that doesn't limit them. Okay, what this means is, kids with different needs may rely on different technology, all sorts of sort of things, software or apps, to accommodate their needs. For example, some people that may be dyslexic or just, sight impaired sort of thing. I'll call it sight impaired, not blind in general. I'm trying to find a real nice way about it. Some apps such as, your speech assistant that's probably on your cell phone or on the computer tablet, wherever it may be, or for one of them that I was watching on the Vimeo, she said something about when she goes out to a shop, she ends up going on her cell phone or something to familiarise herself, and that app was Shop Assistant. She'll try her hardest to actually hopefully visualise it in mind, even though she may not be able to see, to talk it out onto the actual app, and actually hopefully the app will lead her to where she has to be. So as I said before, many different apps can accommodate for different needs. Okay, for deaf people especially, this is why I'm actually including different people of different needs here. Deaf people especially maybe wants to have more captions on TV, computers, or other, social media sites, be it like, here's an example, YouTube or whatever else it may be that are, has videos playing, so that they know what's going on and actually feel that they can engage with it and actually be able to follow what's going on, so they don't feel lost and whatever else. Because obviously at the end of the day, like I said before, that, especially for people I've talked to, they want to be involved regardless of their differences, especially for the people that are deaf I've been talking to, that they feel that they're being treated as if they're dumb, regardless if they can't speak, and that really sometimes frustrates them. Sometimes it annoys some of them, to call that many people's mentality there of the ones that are different, especially for the ones that are dumb, deaf, pretty much they think that they're dumb. But if you knew about sign language and everything else to them, you'll be surprised what they will actually let out, because obviously not all disabilities are visible. Some of them are invisible, but they're still there, and actually, again, it's all about meeting the needs. Okay, another one was also saying, basically, especially for the deaf, another one on the deaf one said about something about when it comes to meetings in general, be it at school or work, with deaf people and hearing people come together, maybe for the hearing people especially, hopefully they'll be able to learn sign language. Sign language can be a great resource tool for the ones that are deaf in the community, because you never know, you'll be able to pick up who's deaf and who's not, basically. And also, as I might share later on, you know, it's important for people that are deaf, especially, you know, there are ways to how to communicate people that are deaf, and I might bring out some of that later, the tips and advice about it, and maybe, I don't know, later on in the piece to do some fun stuff about it, basically based on maybe a few sign language pieces I know, hopefully, and maybe use that as a learning aid resource tool for you all, hopefully. Anyway, last but not least in that part of it, of that section was, especially for the one that was in the wheelchair, she said something along the lines, people in wheelchairs to have access to taxi vouchers or chips so they can travel in taxis, so they can be able to socialise with their friends or their peers. Okay, I actually was amazed in this last part of the segment on this topic was children with disabilities don't see it as a barrier. I was kind of amazed of actually what they say about this, you know. From my misunderstandings from normal people with normal people basically feel, especially the one, she made it clear cut here, made me really want to give her a high five if I could find her, you know. Well, she said something along the lines that people that, you know, with a disability shouldn't be a leader, okay? They should be down at the bottom of the hierarchy. She feels that basically regardless of, you know, the disability, you know, we are born to be leaders, some of us, you know, some of us may be born to lead than to actually follow, so to speak. So therefore, you know, some people with different disabilities may become real great leaders, you know, because of their skills and strengths that they have that incorporates as a leader or even an entrepreneur or whatever it may be. Another one was basically, this is actually kind of amazing, people to be leaders want to be leaders regardless of, you know, people with disabilities or not. So we should be able to respect everyone no matter what the outcome or no matter who and what they are with this disability, you know. Get to know the person before maybe judging is another one here to put down there, because obviously many people make that misconception or misunderstand people with different disabilities just because they, like I said before, they may be autistic or whatever, some of the disabilities are, you know, visible or invisible, you know, some just tend to prejudge and make that assumption before they get to know the person, which is a sad reality and fact, but then again, that's just life, I guess. Another one is, obviously, I actually like this one, you know, we shouldn't all be the same, meaning we should be able to be different, being able to stand out from the rest of the people. We should be able to be comfortable in our skin, stand out from the rest of people, and like, we obviously being different can have its advantages, and that advantage basically for this one I was looking at is we can make a change, however, being different, okay, despite if we are in the minority of, you know, regardless of who and what we are. Here's an example, classic example, autistic, despite who and what we are as people though, especially for the ones that are non-disabled, no matter what they think of us, basically, at the end of the day, we should just remember, like I'm learning right now, is all what we feel and think about ourselves at the end of the day, because obviously I tend to question myself at the end of the day, you know, what would their values and opinions count for maybe 5 to 10 years time, you know, or even just now, even if they give me pre-hate messages and stuff, like I said before, so many times before, you know, just to try, you know, do the opposite effect of what they're doing, and eventually they might get sick and tired of me and actually pick on someone else, which is a sad reality when you look at it. But then again, like, as I keep saying, also do what you believe you want to do, they love to do, regardless if people will tear you down, regardless, you know, of your strengths, weaknesses, whatever, you know. We should be able to just be like everyone else and be able to do what we love to do, regardless of all that as well, to remember, as I keep clearly saying all the time, disabilities ain't always visible, but are always there. And last but not least is, obviously, as a true valid point, you know, everyone wants to be included in one way or another, regardless what activity it is or educational stuff that they're doing. It's all about knowing what's right for them and whatnot. So, you know, it's just a matter of just being accepted one way or another, you know. Okay, well that ends obviously, if I have repeated a bit there, I apologise. That ends part 5 obviously of the Let's Talk, special education or inclusive education, shall we say. Give me the like for thumbs up for support. Comment below if I've missed out anything, or just comment below basically of what you feel is important to you when it comes down to inclusive education, or just inclusion in everyday things, be it, out in town or in the community, regardless. I challenge you all to do something about it. No further ado, guys, basically subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. I'm hoping to do it on the daily. I can't promise you that, but I'll do my best right now to do this, get back into action. Versus basically also feel free to share these videos around to family and friends. Feel free to also follow me on Twitter, Facebook for any updates and me to go on, even though I will let you guys know what's going down with me regardless what it may be. Feel free to also share these videos around to family and friends regardless what videos it may be, hopefully just to maybe educate one another one way or another. And also do guys, do what you love, it. Thanks for your support, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again soon. Thanks for signing out.